Son Funeral Home, the North Chapel on Highway 21 in Sylacauga, and the Childersburg Chapel on Highway 280 in Childersburg for pre-need funerals, burials, or cremation since 1975. Courteous and Son Funeral Home, Sylacauga, Childersburg. Sarah Fitz Stiltner, age 71, of Maylene, died Wednesday, July 27th at her residence. Funeral service will be held Sunday at 2 p.m. from Courteous and Son Funeral Home, North Chapel, with visitation 1 hour prior to the service. Sarah will be laid to rest in the Evergreen Memorial Cemetery. Online condolences at courteusandsonfh.com. Courteous and Son Funeral Home, North Chapel, directing. Graveside service for Marie Smith Morris, age 85, is today at 10 a.m. from Fayetteville Methodist Cemetery, with Brother Bobby Levitt and Brother Reggie Hawkins officiating. Ms. Morris died Sunday, July 24th at Parkwood Nursing Home. Visitation was held last night. In lieu of flowers, memorials can be sent to the Alzheimer's and Dementia Research in Marie's name. Radney Smith Funeral Home, Sylacauga, directing. Dennis Nordland died on July 22nd at Chapman's Healthcare Center in Alexander City. There will be a visitation for friends and family at Radney Funeral Home in Alexander City Tuesday, August 2nd, 5 to 7. A private memorial service for the family will follow in his beloved state of Minnesota at a later date. The family requests that memorial gifts be made to Children's Harbor, 1 Hour Children's Highway, Alexander City, Alabama, 35010-8620. Funeral service for Carolyn Sue Thomas will be Saturday at noon from Rising Star Baptist Church in Sylacauga. Burial in the New Hope Baptist Church Cemetery of Sylacauga. Visitation is Friday at Community Funeral Home from 1 until 7. Community Funeral Home directing. Funeral service for Bonnie Foster will be Sunday at 2 p.m. And that service will be held at Community Funeral Home with Wayne Tree and Wayne, Michigan officiating. Community Funeral Home in charge of the arrangements. And Dorothy Shorter funeral service will be Tuesday at 11 a.m. from Community Funeral Home Chapel, with burial in the New Hope Baptist Church Cemetery. Visitation on Monday from 1 until 7 at the funeral home. Community Funeral Home, Sylacauga, directing. Celebration of life for Carolyn Sue Thomas, age 72, will be Saturday. That'll be at noon from Rising Star Baptist Church with the Reverend Michael Creighton officiating. And visitation tonight, 1 until 7 at the funeral home, Community Funeral Home directing. Funeral service to be held at Zion Memorial Funeral Home Chapel in Sylacauga for Mr. Robert Adair. Public viewing was held last night. Zion Memorial Funeral Home in Alexander City in charge of the arrangements. Doris Ann McGee Cook, affectionately known as Aunt D, was born on January 27, 1949. She worked in the Sylacauga City School System for many years and retired as CNP manager. There will be a celebration of life Saturday, July 30th at 1 p.m. from St. Thomas United Methodist Church in Sylacauga. Professional service entrusted and directed by Grace Memorial Chapel Funeral Home in Sylacauga. Homegoing celebration for Mr. Doc Too Sweet Russell Jr., age 81, is noon Saturday at Terry's Mortuary Chapel. Minister Roderick Russell officiating. Interment in the Westview Cemetery. Visitation will be Saturday from 11 a.m. until funeral hour. Terry's Metropolitan Mortuary directing. Homegoing celebration, remember the life of Mrs. Christine Mitchell Gaddis, age 92, of Talladega, is Saturday, July 30th at noon from Sycamore Missionary Baptist Church with Pastor Brian Miller officiating. Interment in the church cemetery. Public viewing is today from 3 till 7 at the funeral home, S.M. Goodson Funeral Home and Crematory directing. And S.M. Goodson Funeral Home will announce the funeral arrangements for Houston Wills, age 68, who passed away July the 27th. S.M. Goodson Funeral Home and Crematory in Talladega in charge of the arrangements. This obituary report this morning, courtesy of Curtis & Son Funeral Home, the North Chapel on Highway 21 in Sylacauga, and the Childersburg Chapel on Highway 280 in Childersburg for pre-need funerals, burials, and cremations since 1975. Curtis & Son Funeral Home, Sylacauga, Childersburg, 256-245-4361. Pre-need, at-need funeral services, funerals, burials, and cremations. It's Curtis & Son Funeral Home, the North Chapel on Highway 21 in Sylacauga, and the Childersburg Chapel on Highway 280 in Childersburg. Central telephone number is 256-245-4361. That is Curtis & Son Funeral Home.